Live, and is my camera the right way round? There is only one way to find out. Happy New Year to you all. Jim is in the house. Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me, Ellen? Why is my thing not working here? There we go. Play, damn it, play. There we are. Happy New Year, Ellen. No, it doesn't let me do it. It's not giving me an option.
Let me see.
Hold on, 2 seconds. We're just trying something out, folks, and then we will get to everyone. Oh, okay, it's down there. Managing moderator. Managing. No, you should have pressed the... Okay, I thought you had to press it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm all over the place. Right, we are here now. Can people hear me? Somebody speak now or forever hold your peace. I've got Ellen as my moderator tonight. We were just setting it up. So we are all equipped for the trolls. Happy New Year to you all, Jim. Who else is in the house? 8 people. 8 people, but nobody is talking. Say something to me, people. But please don't say you can't hear me. That would be soul destroying. 2 likes. What more could a man want? I'll tell you what. I've not used my like. A bit sad liking your own live streams, but I'm going to like mine now. Look at that. Have we gone to 3? We have. Yeah, we've gone to 3, but that was me. Who is there? There we go. Jim Pendergast. Yes, you are loud and clear. Now that is interesting, Jim. Because you've said that now, I realise I don't really know what I'm doing with this. Everyone knows I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not particularly technically minded. But there's a feature which says set the delay for 60 seconds, you know, and they recommend 60 seconds. It must take 60 seconds for me to read your reply. Anyway, why do they recommend 60 seconds? Why not 10 seconds? It would speed things up in terms of the chats. Anyway, Happy New Year to you, Jim, and the wonderful Nora. What's the word on the street in Richmond, mate? We know Jim is in the house. We know Ellen is in the house. We've got 9 other people, but 7 of them are deciding to go incognito. Who are they? Or maybe they've identified themselves, but we have the minute delay. Just 1 second, chaps. I'm going to go and grab my snooze. Scott Geen, hey Simon, how you doing? Talking to a man, Jim, he said owns house up North Philippines. Speaking to a man, Jim, I'm guessing you missed the in bit out. How you doing? I'm doing good. Talking to a man in a gym who said he owns a house up north of Philippines. Well, there you go. I'm sure he does. I'm sure there are a lot of people who own houses up in the north of the Philippines. Not sure where the north of the Philippines is. That's up near Manila and that, is it? I'm guessing we're in the south, Visayas. Jim Pendergast, very cold here in London. Yeah, I suppose that time of year, isn't it? January, February, March. They always seem to be the coldest years, or the coldest months. When was the Beast from the East, though? That was March, wasn't it? March or April? I came back to visit the UK during the Beast from the East. My God, my hands were frozen coming back from Marks and Spencer's. I couldn't, stuck to the bag. Scott Geen, yes, hear you, Simon, from Scott, New Zealand. Happy New Year, Scott. Glad you could join the party. Who else do we have? We're up to 8, we've lost 1. Well, there you go. It's quality and not quantity. Now we got 9 again. But I only know who 2 of you are. Don't be shy. Give it a try. Identify yourself. It's and on time. Happy New Year, mate, from McCarty. Happy New Year to you and yours, mate. Happy New Year. Welcome to the live stream. What was New Year like in McCarty? What was your New Year like in New Zealand, Scott? What was your New Year like, Jim? Your Christmas Day looked good, Jim, on Facebook. It looked like you were having fun. Got #1 crown till Jack Star arrives. That's if he arrives, Jim. Haven't heard from Jack. He's not been commenting recently. He's he may be busy conquering the home counties in his business empire. But yet, you'll always be #1 to me, Jim. So who's missing so far? No plastered finger. No Jack Star. No Adam Fente. Adam Fente is a very nice guy, by the way. No Tim Murray. Very nice guy. It was nice meeting Adam. We met another guy as well. I don't know if anyone you might remember, Jim. Remember the Scottish guy, Keith, who I met in Sikihor? He's living in Saigon now. I call it Saigon because we were told when we were there that the locals are much happier if you call it Saigon. They're not happy with the Ho Chi Minh name change. So keep people happy, call them what they want to call them. But yeah, he was over there. He's loving Vietnam, really thinks it's 10 times better than the Philippines and Thailand. And to be honest with you, I find it hard to argue with him. I've fallen in love with Vietnam. It's under time, tons of fireworks, getting too old for all the madness. Yeah, fireworks in our fireworks experience in Saigon was a waste of time, absolute waste of time. I had no interest in seeing fireworks. Fireworks are not my thing. None of the guys were interested in fireworks, but we thought we would do it for the ladies. So we went in search of a skytop bar where we could spend the evening watching the fireworks, which I said was madness. We went to one place we'd booked and they'd lost our booking. And then we strolled around and I couldn't see the point of it. My idea was, let's just go to Bouvienne Street and at about, 11:30, the girls can wander, or we go with them, they can wander down and watch them in the square outside the Opera House. But I was outvoted. We went up to, there's a reggae bar, which has got a rooftop bar. We went up there, we sat there, we waited for the fireworks, 12 o'clock came, didn't see one. All you could see was the reflections of some of them in one of the buildings across the road. So we never saw any fireworks. Ellen, God bless her, and Joy and Agnes, they went down onto the street to savour the atmosphere, but there wasn't much going on. So it was a bit of a damp squid at the fireworks. Scott Geen, he said the south of Philippines is dangerous, from Scott, New Zealand. Dangerous in what sense? Dangerous in what sense? I mean, there are occasionally kidnappings and things like that go on there. I mean, they've got terrorists, if he's talking about Mindanao and that kind of thing, but it is incredibly rare. I mean, how many mass shootings do they have in America every week? I mean, it's, yeah, the Philippines is not a dangerous place, mate. Might be more dangerous as a tourist to living in the north, but, you're more likely to have a bike accident. I mean, it always amazes me how some people portray the Philippines as being this incredibly dangerous place for crime or terrorism and that kind of thing. It's not. It really isn't. Jim, had a good Xmas here, just waiting for our next trip, 4 weeks. And I bet you're counting the minutes, mate. I bet you're counting the minutes. Escape the madness of the UK. Escape the cold. You flying from Heathrow? Silly question, really. Who flies from Gatwick these days? Can't remember the last time I've flown from Gatwick anywhere. Long time ago. Wait a minute. Might have flown Eva Air to Thailand from Gatwick once. I'll have to Google that. But it's nearly always Heathrow. I think it might have been Gatwick for Eva Air. But that's going back 10, 11 years, 12 years. I'm flying out the country on the 27th. I'm going back to London with Eva Air. I'll let you know a little secret, I'm not really, but it was my follow-on ticket. I did potentially have a ticket with Eva Air going back to London on the 27th, but that would have expired after 48 hours. But good airline, Eva Air. I think they're probably the best airline I've ever flown on. Scott Geen, Vietnam, is there any girly bars for me? Ha, 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 ha. Surprisingly not. There isn't. You will find ladies of the night, but there's no go-go bars. which surprised me because when we booked, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, in Bouvienne Street, I thought it was like, you know, the equivalent of Khao San Road in Thailand. It's only a couple of weeks before we went there, Ellen Googled it and said it's more like the equivalent of Walking Street in Pattaya. It is a red light district, which I was quite surprised by because if I'd known that, probably wouldn't have booked to stay there. But it's not. Yes, there are ladies of the night. Yes, you do get propositioned. There was a single guy who was with us, Snuggy, and every day he was getting propositioned, predominantly by ladyboys, a lot of ladyboys over there. But I didn't think it was much of an issue until one night we were going out for dinner and I went to get some wine. I mean, mate Alex wanted me to pick him up a bottle. And I went to a shop round the corner and I got propositioned 3 times. So finding a woman over there, in terms of if you want to pay to play, will be no problem at all for you, Scott. You'll be in your element, like a pig in muck. But there's no go-go bus. I was quite surprised because I won't name him, but one of our party wanted to go to one. And I said, well, there must be loads of them there, but I'm not coming. And then he went on and on about it. So I tell you what, I'll Google it and find out where the nearest one is. And he said, no, they don't exist. You get the dancers outside or you'll get women dressed. But because of the culture, there is no nudity or anything like that in Thailand, which surprised me. Didn't disappoint me because I hate those places, but there you go. Jim Penn goes, yes, Heathrow, only 20 minutes. So what do? Do you get a taxi? Tell you what I found the last few years when I was living in the UK, those meet and greets were fantastic. You know, so much cheaper and so much easier. I used to drive down from Leicester to Heathrow. You know, they meet you in the car park, they take the car away. I know they park in some bloody field or whatever, and they pick you up when you get back. God, that was so much better than before. You'd have to drive like, 2 miles, some bloody car park at Terminal 5 and then like go back on the bus to get to the terminal and pay twice as much. Those meet and greets were a lifesaver. But I suppose for you probably get family or friend to drop you off, or a taxi or something would be much easier if you're that close. The Plastered Finger, hello Billy. Evening all. Internet is a bit duff this evening, so I might keep dropping in and out. Well, you're welcome, brother. Whether you drop in or out, we're just happy to have you here with us. Happy New Year. The Art Park Garden, call blimey. And there I was about to take a nap at work. How's life, Simon? Life is very good, mate. How are things with you? Life couldn't be better. Well, it could. Could be considerably better. But I certainly cannot complain. The Plastered Finger, oh yeah, Happy New Year, one and all. Jim, Happy New Year, Billy. Jim, yes, Taxi. That was a good TV series, Taxi. I just love that. We're up to 16. We're moving places. We're on our way to the TOP. Trouble is, as soon as I start counting, people drop off. I'm waiting for some trolls to come. I've got an admin now. I think Ellen's itching at her fingers to delete people. Sod's law, they won't come. So, Billy's in the house. The Art Park Garden is in the house. I'm sorry, Art Park. What's your real name? I've forgotten your name if you ever told us. Taking a nap at work. Nothing wrong with that, is there? There was a guy in our hotel, I tell you. We really liked our hotel. It was a damn good choice. I think we had by far the best hotel out of all of them. And I tried to guide people. I mean, I think my mate Alex, now they were happy in their place. But when I found our place, I said it's good, it's got amazing reviews. I suggested it to people. No one took me up on it. And they all had dramas in their hotels. But the one negative thing, it's not really a negative, the reason I'm saying it now is like the woman who worked during the day or the staff during the day were so helpful, so friendly. But there was a guy at night and he was a young guy. And he just pulled up one of the chairs and slept. You know, it was about as much use as a chocolate firecard. And that used to bother Ellen. And I was like, well, don't worry about it. It's just like, I'd do the same thing. It's probably not much money. Why stay up all night? If he gets caught, they might sack him, he get another job. What's the point of staying up all night? He's got the right idea. I thought it was funny he'd come in because he's got his little pillow, no one on reception. But the last day, I was quite anxious about getting to the airport on time to go. And because I'd heard from Keith, it can be a real nightmare getting out of out of Ho Chi Minh like 3-4 hour delays at the customs and all this kind of shit, and people often miss flights. So I wanted to go early. We left at 6 o'clock, and I said to Ellen, God, I'm going to be pissed off if I have to wake him up, and we're going to have a rigmarole of him checking the minibar and all this shit. But we came downstairs. He's fast asleep. And he wakes up and he sees us and said, hello. I said, we're leaving now, we're checking out. And he said, okay, bye-bye. I said, yeah, but we've been hitting the minibar. We've had a couple of cokes, couple of beers. And he said, oh, okay, no problem, enjoy it. And just went back to sleep. So I'm sitting there with money to pay for the bar. I thought he was going to go up and check the room. Didn't do anything. So there you go. It was, even Ellen liked him then. I couldn't believe it. How he keeps that job, I do not know. Maybe he's the son of the owner or something. But yeah, we'd been left, it's, and I've got witnesses. My old mate Nucky was there because he shared a taxi with us. I said to him, how much do I owe you? I said, we've had this, we've had that. He wasn't interested. He just wanted to go back to sleep. Jim Pendergast, layover in Doha, apparently best airport in the world, seeing pics on YouTube. Really? Well, it might have changed. I've been to Doha a lot of times. The only thing that struck me about Doha was like the £13 you pay for a pint of beer. Or it was more than that, actually. I can't remember now. But maybe it's changed it. Maybe they've renovated it. But I used to go there quite a lot on the way to Thailand if you weren't flying direct. The last few years, I used to fly direct most of the time. I'd go EVA, I'd go Thai Airways. I used Thai Airways a lot towards the end. But before then, for the last couple of years, I used to do a lot of, I'd get the best deal. And it was often at Emirates and, what's the other one? There's the other one, the ones that sponsor Qatar Airways. Anyway, either way, one of them stopped at Doha quite a lot. I think it was Emirates. And I'm never blown away by the airport. I was never there for more than 3 or 4 hours, but maybe they've improved it. I don't know. Art Park Garden, are you a walker, Simon? Do you enjoy a good walk? Not really. I don't mind a walk. I can walk. Quite a lazy man, but no, I can walk. But I don't particularly enjoy it. Got a mate who keeps inviting me up to do the rambling up in the mountains, and no, but yeah, I don't mind walking. Which drives Ellen nuts. When I was living in Sibulan, which is my place was about 8-9 kilometres out of the city, and I walked that a few times. Where the traffic was heavy and the buses are stuck, and I don't mind walking it. And when I was living in Sikihor, I used to walk up to the Rum Bar most nights, and that was like 3 kilometres there, 3 kilometres back. And I was doing that every night because I didn't want to drink and drive. I'd often get lifts back, but I did find after a few months, my right leg, ankle started swelling up. And I've had pins and plates in that ankle, and they told me that when I was older, it might cause me problems. And it has started to. Not enough like the real problem. I mean, when we walked a lot in Vietnam, I mean, that first night, God, when they dropped us to the own hotel, I had to walk, I think it was about 4.5, 5 kilometres with four cases, because Alan, my old mate Daryl's ankle had gone. Ellen, bless. Anyway, yeah. So no, I'm not averse to walking. When I get started, there's no stopping me. But it's not something I do for fun. That was a long answer, wasn't it? Art Park Garden. No, sorry, Scott Gein. Danny DeVito, Taxi, funny man. Yeah, Danny DeVito was good in Funny Man, and so was, can't think of his name now, the comedian who died. They made a film about him, Man on the Moon. What was his bloody name? He was funny. It was a good series. You remember the female taxi driver? I can't remember her name. I saw a documentary on her once. She has a photographic memory. She can remember everything. She could remember news broadcasts when she was like 3 years old and describe exactly what the presenter was wearing, you know, from the colour of the tie, the shirt, thing, about nonsense. Extraordinary. Art Garden, there's a new YouTube who's doing lives along the boulevard and occasionally through the streets of Douma. Enjoyable stuff. He's Cast Away Adrift. Check him out every afternoon. Some people walk with him. Yeah, I might start doing some more of that if I continue with the channel. I've got my mind, I'm going to focus on certain things, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have for YouTube and that going forward. All the quizzes, I might drop them. But I thought about doing that. It's just so damn difficult to do that kind of thing because of the weather. Whenever I think I'm going to do that, I'm going to show you Doomagetti Uncovered. I'm going to take a walk. There is all so much wind, and the weather always seems to be shit. And when I did used to do stuff like that, when I was in City Hall, people just complained about the noise. It's too noisy. The trikes, the tuk-tuks, things. Very hard. I've got a good equipment in terms of like an Insta360 camera now. I mean, I think I'll have to invest in some new microphones if I'm going to do that. But it's so not an easy thing to do. Really, if you start vlogging, you take your hat off to some of these people that seem to find quiet spaces in the middle of Saigon. It's very hard to find quiet places, and it's very hard, particularly in I'll check his channel out. I'll be interested to know how he does that. Maybe I'll go for a walk with him. Jim Pendergast, yes, I was surprised about Doha. Craig, hi Simon, I hope you had a good Xmas and a New Year. Yes, we had a very good Xmas and a very good New Year, thank you mate. I hope you did too. Art Park Garden, his name is Michael and his Filipino girl's friend's name is She. Sweet people. He does live sometimes. Oh, you're not talking about, well no, you just said his name. You're not talking about Pro-Life, are you? The South African guy. Adam Fene, hi guys, glad to see you. Adam. Hello my friend, how are things in Da Nang? How was the bus trip? Did you get settled in all right? The Plastered Finger, Luca, played by Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman, that's the one, Andy Kaufman. Yes, brilliant. Very funny man. That film, I don't know if you've ever seen the film Man in the Moon. He's, who played him? Jim Carrey, wasn't it? Yeah. An unusual chap to say the least. Well, they both are, aren't they really? Jim Carrey and Jim Renner. Hi Adam, lovely to see you in Vietnam New Year. Adam Fenner, hey Jim, Happy New Year to you as well. See, this is strange because the 60 seconds, that 60-second delay theory has gone right out the window because you chaps are chatting in real time, much faster than a 60-second delay. So Adam is in the house, Jim is in the house, a Plastered Finger's in the house, Art Park Garden's in the house, Billy's in the house. Who are we missing? We're missing Jackstar, we're missing Tim Murray, we're missing Glenn. Trying to think, who else in the regular team we haven't got? Honestly Uninterested is not here, but she isn't always here. She kind of pops in and out, doesn't she? Well, I don't blame them. They've probably got far better things to do than waste their time talking to little old me. Adam Fenley, the sleeper bus was miserable, but I'm so happy to be back in Da Nang. It's so chill and peaceful. Was it miserable? Why was that then? You ended up on a lousy one, or... Because I said to you, I explained to Adam, near where our hotel was, there were, in the evenings, you get all these, well, I assume they were Vietnamese, I mean, they could be Thais or whatever, but people of Asian appearance, and they're all sat there with these big boxes and things waiting for buses. And I had it in my head that the poor souls were going to be jumping in minibuses and all cramped up and all that for long journeys, like 2 days up to Hanoi and all this crap. And I felt sorry for them. But then one night when we were coming back, I saw all the buses. Oh my God, these buses had like sleeping cabins. You know, they look like a cruise ship. And this guy's getting in, he opened the curtains and he's lying down this thing. He's got a light and a little TV at the end and big comfortable bed. And I thought, my God, that looks cozy. I'll have some of that. And Adam said, when I met with Adam the second time I met with him, he was telling me he was going on one of those. So I was intrigued to find out how it was. But he says it was miserable. Why? Adam Fenton, how did your trip end in Ho Chi Minh? It ended very well. The last day, well, it didn't end that well. I mean, it kind of petered off in the sense that the last few days we had very early starts because we went to we had a 7:30 start for one of the mornings to go to Ho Chi Minh, to go to the Cu Chi tunnels and the Mekong Delta. And then we had a very early flight where we left the hotel at 6 o'clock. Then we got stuck in Manila, or we had a layover in Manila. So anyway, it was great. It was great. It was a fantastic holiday. I just wish we had booked a flight which had been later. Should have booked the afternoon one. and could have got the afternoon. This is the annoying thing. I was so tired when we got to the airport and we queued for 2 hours. The flight was full and they offered us $200 each vouchers to get on the next flight and a hotel stay. And I thought, I can't, we were tempted, we almost took it. I can't be bothered. I don't want to queue up another 2 hours again. What is $200 really? And it's in vouchers, so you have to get it from the thing, you know. So we didn't take it because I didn't want to go through the palaver of getting up early again and going to the airport. But then it occurred to me afterwards, there's a 3 o'clock in the afternoon one. And the guy wanted us because he said he'd put us up front with extra legroom. And I think we could have probably got in business class, so I pushed him, but I should have said, we'll take it, but we don't want the morning flight, we want the afternoon one. And then we could have had a good night in Hanoi. In Ho Chi Minh, another good night. But we didn't. But I tell you, we were lucky because 7 of us went and only 2 of us made it back as planned. Nucky, the American guy, bless him, my old mate Alex booked his ticket and he got the dates wrong. So he came to the airport with us and he wasn't flying out till the next day. Agnes and Daryl, they ended up staying 2 more days. But then when we got to, so it was only me and Ellen and Alex and his wife who flew back with us. We got to Manila, then they missed the connecting flight in the morning, so they had to pay and get another one. So all of us going together, there was only 2 of us that made it back. Only me and Ellen went back. And Daryl and that, when they came back, they had a 5-hour delay at the airport, and Alex and that had a 5-hour delay going there. So everyone had nightmares getting there, except for Ellen and I. It must be karma. Our flights were on time. We caught them smoothly there and caught them smoothly back. So there we go. Christopher Coombe, greetings from Bulgaria. Happy New Year. Looking forward to seeing what you get up to this year, mate. Happy New Year, Christopher. Welcome. Bulgaria. Are you living in Bulgaria? Or are you on holiday in Bulgaria? Happy New Year, mate. I gave serious consideration to moving to Bulgaria once. Art Park Garden, Castaway Drift. He lives in downtown Doomut or close to there. He's always beginning his lives at the boulevard. Go down for a coffee and say hi. I'm not a coffee kind of guy. I might do. I'll check out his channel. But that would look like I was trying to bomb it, wouldn't it? I'll check out his channel. I'll be interested to know how he does that without the noise and things. I was thinking of doing more of that stuff, but if he's already doing it, he's beating me to it, hasn't he? Brian Street, after last night, we are doomed. Come on, you Irons. Oh, we are, mate. Yeah, we are. We're down now. I thought we were down at the start of the season. If you watch the lives going back, I said from day one we're going to get relegated this season. However, when Nuno came in, I thought he was going to turn it round. But got to think of the Great Escape, the old Kerbishley period. We have turned it around before, but yeah, it's a disgrace. We're going down, and we're probably going down a few divisions. It's either going to be the end of us as a football club, which it could be with that stadium if we go down 2 divisions. Or even Simon Jordan was saying that the other day, and I don't like Simon Jordan, that he thinks Sullivan will walk away. And if Sullivan does walk away, we could be primed for a takeover, and possibly a big takeover, because we could be a bargain. So who knows? It might be the making of us. It will probably be the breaking of us, but only time will tell. But I cannot see how we stay up now. Adam Fente, the bus itself was fine, but it was a 20-hour trip. I can't sleep on buses with the stops and honks, but I slept like a baby once I got to my hotel. Yeah, that's it. I've always had it in my head. I want to do a long train journey, you know, where you get the cabin and all that. But back in my mind, it's like, I won't enjoy it. You know, I used to get, I think I've said before, I've never been able to sleep on boat. Airplanes, second I get on an airplane, I'm gone. I can't move in, you know, even if I'm wide awake. It's like, I think it's an old Air Force thing. The engines have an effect on me. I just fall asleep straight away. But on buses, I used to get the ferry sometimes when I wanted to bring my car over. When I had business in Holland, I wanted to have the car on me a lot of the time. And I had a lot of stuff I would bring with me, like, you know, files and things for meetings and stuff. So sometimes I'd hire a car, wasn't really an option. And I had 2 options, and one of them was to go through the tunnel, and the other, you know, and stay in a hotel the night before, or I could drive down to Harwich and get the ferry over and get a cabin on there, have a nice meal and that. And I did that a few times because it seemed perfect, civilised way to do it. I could never sleep. I knocked it on the head after a few journeys. I just couldn't sleep. The bed was comfortable, the cabin was nice, just couldn't sleep. Adam Fenton, love the Vietnam shirt. I'm happy to hear you had a wonderful conclusion to your Ho Chi Minh trip. Well, super nice to meet you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the snacks, but the shrimp paper stinks. No, we haven't enjoyed the snacks yet because we're going to do a video on them, mate. We're going to do a tasting, whether it will be a short or not. But Ellen tried to start them the other day. I said, no. Adam has invested in those for us. We will repay him some way. So, no. We've stopped that, but in the next couple of days, we will do a little tasting video, Adam. Probably pop it up as a short, I don't know. But yeah, no, haven't tasted them yet. Scott Geen, good night, Simon. Sleep time. Good night, Scott. Thanks for joining the party. It's an early night for you, mate. Are you? Have you got an arm wrestling competition or something in the morning? Got to get your strength. Good night's sleep. Christopher Coombe, I've been here 9 years this year. Quiet life in a sleepy village. Came at 48 years of age and never looked back. Is that right? Is that right? A sleepy village. That conjures up some images. I used to do a lot of snowboarding when I was in the Air Force. And we always used to go to Bulgaria or Romania. And a few times went down to Sofia for a couple of days. Full of dogs, wild dogs, I remember that. But talking to people, it was so cheap then. And I've always liked the idea of just not doing anything like I am now. And I like the women as well. A lot of very attractive women in Bulgaria. And I was younger then. And I gave serious consideration to moving over there. But the last time we went to Borovets, I got terrible food poisoning. And salmonella, I was sick for months. And that kind of put me off Bulgaria. I've never been back since. But they still say now Bulgaria is as cheap as the Philippines to live. Is it? But the villages I saw over there, they were pretty bloody basic. I mean, we're going back to 95, 96, but we're talking peasants. I'm assuming you have a nicer village. Never been to Sunny Beach. That looks a raucous place. Have you been there? I only ever went up to the mountains. Was it? We were in Borovets, Pamparova. Which one is in Romania? Is that Pamparova? I can't remember. God, I'm losing my memory of age, I tell you. 19 people. The numbers are dropping. We've only got 13 likes. If you're one of the 7 that hasn't liked, give your head a good wobble. Smash the like button. If you don't like it, don't smash it. But if you don't like it, why are you watching? It's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to be more positive. Expect more. I'm going to grasp. I'm going to take what's mine. Adam Fenton, no way, you brought the snacks back. Ha ha, hope you enjoyed the snacks. The one thing we didn't take back was the 2 drinks, what they called CTO or CO2. Couldn't take them back. I can give you an appraisal of those. I'm not really an iced tea drinking person, but I opened one, I drank some of the orange one, and it was very nice, didn't mind it at all. I opened the green one, had some of that, didn't mind that at all. When Ellen saw I was drinking those, she said, don't drink those, I love those. Drink your Diet Coke, because I usually drink Diet Coke. So I said, all right, you finish them then. She hated the green one. She was like, what is this? And she was annoyed I had drunk so much. What the hell are you doing?
I was crawling.
She was crawling. She was crawling along. I don't know why.
I thought you could see.
I can see someone climbing up.
That's you.
She's crawling around the floor like a lunatic. I don't know why you're doing that.
Because I know you're going to say, oh, you say Happy New Year to them. But I
Anyway, we're up to 16. My request for likes has worked. I've got my begging bowl out for likes, Alan. Anyway, where are we with the comments? Yeah, you didn't like the green one, did you?
No.
But you liked the other one.
Yeah, the yellow one.
The yellow one. I don't think it was yellow. The yellow one. That was nice tea. That was a bit crude, wasn't it? So I take it back. No, Simon, it's 12:35 a.m. in the morning. Then get yourself to bed, Scott. What are you doing? Get yourself to bed, mate. You've got an early start. Christopher Cobb. Was it Christopher McCrobb? I've been pronouncing it the wrong way. Is that Christopher McCrobb? That's an interesting name, McCrobb. Expats do up the villages here in Bulgaria. It's not for everyone, mate. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Each to their own. That would not be for me. I must admit, that would not be for me. But my parents live in a little Welsh, they've got a little sheep farm up in a Welsh mountain. They're happy as Larry up there. It's not for me. But yeah, fair play to you. That's a ballsy thing to move up there. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I'm just based by the ones I saw around, you know, the ski resorts and that. You know, they look bloody cold. You've got like smoke coming out. You know, they got like, you know, the wood in the fireplace, big holes in the side of the wall. The old babushkas outside brushing the snow away from the houses. Yeah, it looked yeah. But I'm sure your village is nice, or maybe you like that. Maybe that's, you know, each to their own, mate. How is the lovely Ellen? Does she secretly hate us? No, she's just a very lazy woman. And because she's like, you know, got her early starts and that, I mean, she finished work at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So she tends to sleep during the day. So basically, she's just not ready. She hasn't done her... For her to come on a live stream, she has to spend like 2 hours doing her makeup and putting her clothes on that. And she's not... That's what it is. It's not she doesn't like it. She's just not... She's shy. Unless she's got a wall paint on. Adam Fenton... Christopher Com, having lived in Beijing for 7 years, Singapore for a year, and 2 years in New Zealand, so this is very different. I imagine it is. If you've been there 9 years, it's not like the novelty is going to wear off. It's under time. Buy a cheap hut in Greenland and you'll have a US passport soon. There is zero chance of America taking Greenland, mate. Zero chance. It is not going to happen. That's my theory anyway. I mean, but I might be wrong. But I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell the other night, the American guy, and I always thought they're going to Venezuela. It was obvious they were going to go into Venezuela. All this bullshit about their dealers and all this, it was just a prelude to invade. They want the oil. I personally think all this talk about green it's just to distract from the Epstein files. It's to distract from the Epstein files. You know, they've retracted them. They found another 20 million pages that they're trying to hide. And then lo and behold, suddenly they're going to go into Greenland. I mean, if they were going to go into Greenland, they would do it. But they're not, are they? You've got Stephen Miller's wife putting an American flag out it. They are controlling the media cycle. If they do it, then it's the end of NATO, it's the end of America, I believe. But yeah, I don't think they're going to do it, mate. I think it is a shiny object to control the press cycle. And it works, and it could work for the next few months. So there we go. Ellen says, don't talk about it. It's my live, damn it. I'll talk about what I want to. And yep, she says, yep, shut up in Philippines. I said, bits of Filipino I understand, and one of them is shut up. I will shut up, my love. How could I shut up on a live stream? I'm a Marcel Marceau. I'll start doing like miming and things. I've got to talk. Chris Akum, sorry, I meant to say expats renovate houses here to Western standards. Okay, got ya. Well, I'm sure they do. And I'm sure in the summer, it'd be a wonderful place to live. But, you know, village life isn't for me. It's weird. It was in Thailand, but I think I've kind of done that. But no, power to you, mate. I find your life choice quite interesting because I could have ended up there. You know, I could have ended up in Bulgaria. I had not, when I was thinking about Bulgaria and places like that in Latin America, I had never been to Southeast Asia. And Southeast Asia never appealed to me. Had I gone to Bulgaria, I'd probably never made it over here because I'd probably have loved it there. But since I've been to Southeast Asia, I find it hard to see myself living anywhere else outside of Southeast Asia. Jay Roden, ha, but would you want a US passport? No, I would not. Adam Fente, did you guys enjoy the Mekong? I hope you vlogged some of that. I love nature and sightseeing vlogs, haha. Yeah, we did go, and in fact, we're Facebook friends, Adam. If you go onto the Facebook page, you'll see I did a little, I compiled a little bit of that, Dad's Army, which is a British TV series, because we made fools of ourselves. We were too old for that trip. There were lots of overweight old men getting stuck in holes and people rocking boats and nearly falling in the water and that. We did not do ourselves justice. It's made me realise I've got to get into shape. To be honest with you, was a bit disappointed with the Coochie tunnels. In fact, very disappointed with the Coochie tunnels. We went for lunch afterwards and I sat there at lunch and the general consensus was, why the hell have we wasted our last day going to the Coochie tunnels? And the Mekong Delta turned it round. The afternoon tour was brilliant. Really enjoyed that, going on the boats and things. I think the trouble with the Coochie tunnels was you go in and you watch that propaganda film for the first half hour, which is interesting in the sense that it's interesting to see how communist propaganda was in those days. But I could have watched that on a YouTube video. And the reality is the rest of it, you kind of know it all. You know what I mean? You've seen the Vietnam films, you've seen the documentaries, so you know about the holes and you know about the spikes and, you know, the war. And, you know, I don't think there was anything that I learned on that trip, to be honest with you. But it's a great experience. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying quite a few people said to me, you've got to go on the Coochie. It's such an experience. And I didn't even think it was. But loved the afternoon, loved going on the boats, loved it. And the lunch was nice. It was a good day. It was a great day. Just, I just wish we'd just done the river one instead. But if we'd done the river one and not done the Coochie tunnels, then we wouldn't know what we missed and we'd be regretting it now. So it's one of those things. I've got a mate who's been messaging me for days. I'm just going to put him off there a second. And in fact, I've never gone to the Coochie tunnels. Last year I saw some vlogs on it and figured out it was a waste of time. Yeah, don't go, Adam. I thought you had gone. The Milk was good. But we met, I've said it already, the night before we went on that, we went for an Indian place called Currylicious, supposed to be the best Indian in Ho Chi Minh. The food was fantastic, but the service, by Christ, it was lousy. But anyway, a mate of mine that I met in Siquijor, I interviewed him for the channel. He was living in Saigon, so he met us there. And we were talking to him and said we were doing the Coochie tunnels, and he was like saying, it's fantastic, it's so interesting. I went on a motorbike, you've got it, you will love it, you will love it. Well, if you're watching, Keith, we didn't. It was a two-bob, it was just a tourist trap, it was a load of crap. It was like two-bob, just walking around to see this little hole, sit in this little hole, get back out again, walk down, see a couple of traps, an old tank, and you watch this video. I mean, that was about it. And you crawl through a tunnel for 40 meters. Yeah. Where are we now? I lost myself. Why didn't you tell us it was a waste of time, Adam? We value your opinion. If you'd said that, we wouldn't have booked it. We'd have just done the Mekong one. I thought you'd recommended it, to be honest, mate. I thought you'd said before that was one of the things you had to do. There you go. We should have asked Adam, Ellen. I'm blaming you, young lady. Christopher Kuhn, my wife and I often discuss where we would like to move to in the next chapter of our life. Having visited a lot of Asian countries, Vietnam would be a nice country to live in. Yeah, well, I think we're going to end up in Vietnam. I think we are going to end up in Vietnam. Love the place. Love the place. Jim Pendergast, Simon, any plans for your next trip? Yes, well, it depends what you call a trip. We are going to go to Siquijor in, not this weekend, next weekend, for a couple of days. We're doing it for the kids.
Kids?
What? It's a song. It's an expression. We're doing it for the kids. We're doing it for the kids. Well, I'm doing it for the kids, and the kids are Ellen and Kayla. No, because we didn't take Kayla away with us, because we couldn't for a number of reasons. Ellen's promised her that we'd take her to Siquijor.
It's a birthday celebration.
It's a birthday, and it's good Lord. Anyway, it's a birthday celebration. Anyway, so yeah, so next weekend we're going to Siquijor for a couple of days. I might do a video returning to the scene of the crime, but we'll have a couple of days there. But our next overseas trip is going to be Vietnam, and it is either going to be Hanoi or Da Nang. We are leaning more towards Hanoi, but I would rather go to Da Nang. And before Adam shoots me down, because Adam said go to Hanoi, and Helen's got her heart set on Hanoi, and I think I've warmed now more to going to Hanoi. I think we're going to move there. I think we're going to move to Vietnam, not for a few years yet. Ellen was quite keen on the idea. It was actually her that suggested it, believe it or not. I thought we'd go to Thailand. She might say she wants to move there. But she fell in love with Vietnam, as I did. But I think we're going to leave it a few years until Kayla goes to college, like university. So we're talking about 5-6 years in the future. But my way of thinking is I would rather start going to places in Vietnam where we could potentially live. which is why I favour Da Nang, because Da Nang's got quite an expat community, and I would like to go there and see what it's like and gauge it out. Whereas I don't think there's any way in the wide world of sport we're going to go to Hanoi to live. So I was saying to them, well, let's go to Da Nang. Let's check out some places where we could potentially live and see what it's like, rather than tourist destinations. We can go to Hanoi when we move to Vietnam, if we move to Vietnam. But then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. If we're not moving there for 5 or 6 years, let's have a holiday now. Let's go to Hanoi. So I think we're going to go to Hanoi. And Adam has urged us to go to Hanoi. But we don't know when yet. I'm tempted to go in a few months' time. Ellen can't get time off work. I say jack the job in. But we haven't booked anything yet, but it'll be Hanoi. 90% Hanoi. Maybe Da Nang, but definitely Vietnam. Definitely Vietnam. Christopher McCool, my wife and I often discuss... I've just read that one. Jim Pentecost, 80 peso to the pound. Yippee. You can also get 80 pesos to the pound as well, Jim. It's not just pesos. What country is that? I'm just pulling your plonker, Rodney. I make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I know, it's great, isn't it? The guy I was coming back with, one of the guys I was coming back with, he's lived here for... how long has Darryl lived here? 20 years? Something like that? He's been here a long time. And he was jumping around about it. He messaged me the other night because he was stuck in Manila. And he couldn't sleep, so we were chatting on online, and he was saying how it's up to 80. I don't really look, and I was like, wow. He said, I can't remember how long it is since I've been there. You know, since it's been that high. He said, you got to go back a long time. He said, it just goes up and down. And I thought about it. I thought, no, I've been very lucky since I got here. I've been here about 2 years, 3 months, 2 years, 4 months, something like that. And when I arrived, it was 68 pesos to the pound, and since then. It has only gone up. It has never dropped. It's just kept going up, 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 up. So there you go. Who knows what the future what the future holds. Next year, 90 pesos to the pound. Love it. Christopher, we did the tunnels 20 years ago. Did not like it then, and probably the same tank, LOL. Yeah, I think it is. You know, that's what I found irritating about it, because it had so much potential, and it was so busy. You know, they could do a lot with that, really, given the amount of money that's going into it and the amount of thing. It had the potential to be great, but it was crap, as you say. The video they show you is an old black and white video made in 1967. They've been showing that for years, no doubt. You know, they've only renovated a couple of 100 metres of the bloody tunnels. You know, all you do then is you walk down and you've got some guys with sticks setting off traps in a line. It was bullshit, you know. I bet it hasn't changed in 20 years. And you think, if you're going to... I don't know what they charge for it, mind. I mean, because our trip was incredibly cheap. We got it on a Goda. I think it worked out £17 a person. We got picked up in a... it wasn't one of the big bus tours. It was what they called a VIP minibus or whatever. It's quite comfortable. And they picked us up at 7:30. They took us to some place where you're supposed to buy stuff made by, I don't, you know, like for breakfast. We went to the tunnels, did all the tunnels, had a really nice lunch in this restaurant, and then went down to the Mekong. I mean, it was a 12-hour trip, and it was a 2-hour drive there. 2 hours. We did a hell of a lot for £17 a person. I thought it was extraordinary value. So I suppose it must be quite cheap to get in there. I just say it was included in the ticket. I've got no idea what it costs if you actually go there, but maybe it's very cheap. Maybe you can't expect more, but it was disappointing. Adam Fenton, I thought I mentioned to you just do the Mekong tour, but it is what it is. Yeah, you probably did, mate. You got to remember, Adam. You've got to remember, Adam. I'm an old man, and I'm not 30 like you. You probably told me and it went out, or I didn't hear you because I'm deaf. But yeah, I'm not blaming you, mate. I'm not blaming you. I just thought on one of the live streams before, it was probably someone else. You said, are you going to go here? Someone said, you're going to go here. I said, look, we're not going to do anything, really. We might do 1 or 2 tours. And I remember you said the Mekong. I assumed you meant do it all in one. Because what was one option? You could do the Mekong and you could do the what do they call it? Can't speak now. The Choo Chee channels as separate trips, but we did a combined one. Craig, Da Nang looks really great. Yeah, well, not been there, but I've heard mixed reviews. Adam has said, and he's been to both, that Hanoi's much better. Da Nang's a better place to live, but Hanoi's a great an experience to go to. One of the couples that came with us, they went to Da Nang last year, and this was their second time in Vietnam, and they said they far preferred Da Nang to Saigon. They really loved Da Nang. But equally, I've got a couple of friends here who went to Da Nang last year, and they didn't like it at all. But they're Thai people. I mean, one of them just spent the last couple of months in Thailand with his girlfriend, and they really did not like Vietnam. But mate Alex, who came with us, he didn't want to go to Vietnam. He wanted to go to Thailand. He only came with us because we were going to Vietnam, and he didn't think he'd like it. He'd heard bad things about it. He's very much a Thailand man. Because we were going, it's quite boring here at Christmas. He decided to come with us, and he prefers Vietnam to Thailand now. He really won him over, same as me. I mean, I'm very much in the Vietnam camp, and so is he. So I suppose each to their own, isn't it? I'm surprised. Don't know why Lawrence disliked it so much, but there you go. Adam Fenton, of course, I am biased, but take your time and think about it. I can see you have been charmed by Vietnam just like I was. Yeah, it's given us food for thought. I mean, I'm in no hurry. I hope to live a few more years. But yeah, no, it is. It's made me realise. I'll do a video on it soon. I won't elaborate too much, but you can fool yourself into thinking. It's called attribution theory. I will discuss it in another video, but it has certainly made me question whether the Philippines is for me. And the answer is the Philippines is for me. The Philippines is for me because of Ellen. Because of the friends and that I've made here. But if I could do my time again, I would have gone to Vietnam. But it's like, say, home is where the heart is. Vietnam beats everything on every level I can see compared to the Philippines, except my roots are here. You know what I mean? So it's like, is Vietnam... What I'm basically saying is, I said to Ellen the other day, I have the idea now in my later years, as long as she's going to look after me, I quite like the idea of living in a couple of countries. I was talking to a friend about it the other day. I don't see why we have to pick. I like the idea of spending 6 months in Vietnam and 6 months in the Philippines. And that seems to me to tick a lot of boxes. A bit like Jim spends 6 months in England, 6 months in the Philippines. I always thought that would be the case with Thailand, that I would end up in a situation. And the way things are going with the new tax rules and the way they're trying to clamp down on people, I think that's the way people get around it. I did a video on it a while ago, digital nomad, expat nomadic lifestyle. And as long as you're well enough to get the flights and you can get on the plane, tick so many boxes. Maybe it will end up being 4 months, 5 months in Vietnam, 3 months in Thailand, but I don't see why you have to stick to one country. I mean, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it, if you're living here and you're doing your stuff here, and Ellen's got time with her family and all this kind of stuff, and then we go to Vietnam, we'll have a little place over there. Keep placed in a couple of countries. If the healthcare is good in Vietnam, you get your healthcare there. If it's not, you go to Thailand for a couple of months a year, you get all your checkups and that, you know what I mean? It's probably keep a place here, a little place here, where Kayla could stay and things, and, we keep our bags and all that here. And then, you rent a place for like 6 months in Vietnam or a couple of months, Airbnb. I think that's the way forward to us. And we might start doing that. I mean, at the moment, we're not going away till at least July in terms of overseas because of Ellen's job. But Ellen might lose her job. She might decide to go for another job. We might get an opportunity in between. If we did, I'd certainly jump on having a few months in Vietnam to try the place out. And in fact, Hanoi has some surrounding areas to visit, so make sure to do a lot of research on Hanoi. The provinces surrounding it are a must visit if you go to the north. Yeah, well, that's what my mate Keith was saying, because he lives in Saigon, but he lives in the outskirts, and he was saying how different it was, because Nucky, our mate, that was complaining about the people selling stuff all the time, and they're coming, he couldn't live here because they're doing this and always pester you to buy things. And I was like, Nucky, mate, what are you talking about? This is like being the West End of London. You're not going to get that when this is just you're in a tourist trap. It's not going to be like that in the whole of Vietnam. It's not going to be like that in the whole of Saigon. I mean, You're going to get pestered in a different way if you're in East Ham than you are if you're in the West End. I mean, it's common sense. But Keith was saying, yeah, he lives about 4 or 5 kilometres from where we met him, you know, in the suburbs of Saigon. And he was saying how happy he was. You know, it's like, you know, you don't get pestered. No one tries to sell you anything. Everything's a lot cheaper. He said he walks down the street every morning, likes to go for a walk. There'll always be 3 or 4 people. If they can speak English, will stop him and say, good morning, how's your day? You know, he loves it there. And he was a guy who decided to move to Southeast Asia, or decided he was going to try. And his plan was to go to Thailand, to go to the Philippines, to go to Vietnam, see which one was for him, and then head back to the UK and think about it. He went to Thailand, was not blown away by it, came to the Philippines. That's when I met him in Siquijor. Said he probably favoured the Philippines over Thailand, but wasn't sure if Southeast Asia was for him. Went to Vietnam, the next stop, fell in love with the place. So this is a place for him. He's met a lovely lady there. He lives with her and her 2 kids, and he loves it. And I can certainly see the attraction of the Saigon, not his wife. I would go around and see the attraction of her. I'm not saying she's not an attractive woman. God, I got myself in a tunnel there, haven't I? I mean, I can see why he's done it. Adam Fono, I think that's a smart idea. Become a global citizen and pick the places that maximises your life throughout a year. Good Lord, it's not often I have a smart idea. No, it just makes sense because, you know, there were things. I didn't want to come back to the Philippines. You know, I was quite happy to get away from Thailand in the end when we went that last trip. You know, it was the first time I ever had that experience. You know, usually I want to stay longer. And I didn't want to stay longer the first few days, but when we got the last 2 nights, I thought, God, I just want to get back to the Philippines. And this trip, though, I didn't until we got on the plane. And then because I've just been spent the whole week thinking silently, I'm not complaining to anyone, thinking, God, why am I in the Philippines? Why? This is so much better here. But then as soon as we got back, as soon as we landed in Dumaguete, I just felt I'm really happy to be home. And I think that's the thing. I think when you're living in the Philippines all year round, things can start to get to you. Things can start to grate you. And we've made friends and things here. We've got roots here. Ellen's family's here. So it's a big thing to leave permanently. But I think if you were living here for 6 months a year, whether it be 6 months in one stint or 3 months, then away and then back for 3 months, the things which irritate you after a while would not irritate you. You would start to miss things like that. You know what I mean? And, I just think it's the way to go. You know, you just split between, have your 6 months in Vietnam, you're loving it. When things start to, you're starting to miss your friends and family and that here, you come back here. It's what is it? A plane flight? You know what I mean? I think that's the way forward. But it's up to her. She's the boss. I just do what she tells me to do. Why are you moaning? Faces she pulls. As my mother used to say, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything until. No, but I could feel it. I could sense it. I'm psychic. Do better, young lady. You do better. Craig, if you spend 4 months in 3 countries each year, you can avoid paying certain taxes. Well, you can indeed. Yes, that is obviously one of the problems. Although I would still be paying tax. I pay tax in the UK now. Talking of which, I've got to do my tax return. 31st of January. Keep putting it off. Got to get it done this week. Yeah, well, that's certainly one of the reasons why I'm thinking about it. It might become a necessity, because I'm sure there's a possibility that other people will follow the Thai example if it works. Probably be Malaysia that follows it first. But yeah, I mean, there's always a possibility that the Philippines will crack down on the 36-month tourist visas, which could potentially present me with a problem. But I don't see them ever cracking down on 6 months of extensions. Thailand now have said you can only go there twice a year, up to 90 days, is it, or whatever. Again, this gets around all of this. It gets around all of the tax issues. Can never see a situation where any country can say if you're there for more than 4 months of a year that you're a resident. So yeah, that is part of my thinking, mate. That is part of the thinking. Hazen McVicker. Yes, sales nags everywhere here in US Scammers calling daily. I know what you're talking about. But welcome to the live chat. Vietnam is beautiful country with great people. It is beautiful country. Well, I say it's a beautiful country, not seen a lot of it. I mean, in terms of the country, it looks a lot like Thailand. It looks a bit like the Philippines, to be honest with you. But what I really loved about it was, as I've said many times on the channel, I like embracing a culture. I like learning about a culture. I like, trying to adopt people's customs and live in a certain style. That's why I love Thailand so much. I was hoping to do the same in the Philippines. But this country, God bless it, has become so westernized because it's a Catholic stroke Christian country. It's Asia light, and that's one of the things I dislike about it the most. And the infrastructure's, all those things. There are other things. The people are wonderfully friendly, etc. I'm not knocking it. But what I loved about Vietnam, I was thinking, I could learn a lot here. I could try and learn the language. The infrastructure, great. The people are so friendly. There was a day, where would this happen in the world? We went to the night market or the underground market, and I had these. My mate Alex bought everyone these lighters. I do smoke when I'm on holiday. I shouldn't do. I don't smoke when I'm in the Philippines unless I've had a few beers and I'm out. I'm on these, but when you're on holiday, I tend to smoke, particularly when all the guys, well, most of them were heavy smokers. So every time you put your foot on the table, you wobble my camera. Do better.
Sorry.
Where's your mind? So anyway, yeah, so Alex bought us all these, they're like a gimmick over there. You got like this little silver box, you take this thing out, it's like a match and you strike it and a huge flame comes up. It's got like, it's some light fluid or something in there and it's like a flaming torch. Bloody dangerous, really. But by the end of the 10 days, it had run out. The last night I was there and I'm trying to strike this thing and I was trying to strike it for like a couple of minutes and it wouldn't light. And then I was just about to go over and get a light from a shop across the road. This guy on a scooter, a Vietnamese guy, he pulled up, he got off the bike, he walked towards me, and he handed me a lighter. And I said, well, thank you very much, because I saw him get off the bike. I mean, don't get me wrong, he hadn't been speeding down the road and slammed his brakes on. The traffic was really heavy, and he was stuck in traffic. So he'd obviously seen me going like that. He got off his bike, walked to me, gave me a lighter. I lit it, went to give it back. He said, no, keep it. I said, no, you have it back. And he showed me in his pocket, he had 2 lighters, and he said, fine. Put them in his pocket and gave me his lighter. And I thought, what a nice thing to do. I like the Vietnamese people. Having said that, there was a really moody old woman when we went for the Indian restaurant who had a right go at all of us and was very racist, these Indian guys. I don't think she liked Westerners or foreigners, full stop. So why are you looking like that? Do you not know about it? The woman who was sat down. Anyway, yeah. So they're not all friendly. We met a couple of miserable bastards over there, and I did see some of the haggling. They don't like it if you haggle and then don't buy. I didn't really do any haggling over there. I wasn't on a shopping trip apart from a few T-shirts. It's all fake stuff. I don't like buying fake stuff. I mean, there wasn't much to get. It was either foods or fakes. And you heard a few arguments. Like obviously. It's usually Indians, I noticed. They've haggled, they've agreed, come down the price and they've walked away and you've got this Vietnamese around, why you waste my time haggling with me? And they got quite animated, so they don't really see so much of that in Thailand. They seem to be a bit more louder, shall we say, when they're not happy than the Thais do. But anyway. Adam Fenton, Simon and Ellen comedy show. Boom, boom. There you go. I don't know what that was about. It must have been you putting your foot on the table or something. Right, well, the chat has stopped. There is no one talking to us. I'll keep going for a little while longer, guys, but someone's got to talk to us. We seem to have lost people. I know there's no Tim tonight, there's no Jackstar tonight, but people like Billy and that seem to have disappeared from the conversation. Jim's not said anything in ages. Is he gone? Billy's not said anything. Are we? I don't know. Art Park Garden's not said anything. Adam Fenton, yeah, it's little things like that, lighter story that shows the warmth and hospitality of the people. Yeah, they are. And I say, one of the things that fascinate me as well, I'm quite into politics.
We always had a breakfast. Too friendly.
Sorry, was I talking when you were?
I'm not talking to
This thing is called a live stream. If you'd like to be involved, come and sit your pretty little butt down here and you can get involved. If you're just going to pin in and distract me, then don't. I'm only joking, my love.
video.
What was I saying there? What are you talking about, the restaurant? Yeah, there was a restaurant we went for breakfast a couple of times. There was a young guy in there and he was really funny and he was nice. And a lot of them could speak little bits of Filipino for some reason. And there's a guy who went to El Gaucho Steakhouse for Alex's birthday, and the staff from there were fantastic. There was this guy and he had lived in 5 years in Thailand, 5 years in the Philippines. And obviously he was Vietnamese and that. And yeah, they were just really friendly, nice people. But anyway, what I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by this young lady over here. I want to know how the people think. It was interesting because we were staying in Ho Chi Minh City, but the guide and a couple of people told me, don't call it Ho Chi Minh City. They don't like to call it Ho Chi Minh City. They prefer to call it Saigon, which makes you think, did they want the South to win? What were their loyalties? You know, it's Ho Chi Minh City. How many people like, I mean, the tour guide was telling us how they call it him Uncle Ho, and, you know, he'd done this. And I'll tell you now, Ho Chi Minh's a bit hero to me. But then on the same thing, he's saying you're better to call it Saigon. And you're thinking, well, he's just going through the pattern. I find all that kind of thing fascinating. I would like to know, you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of crap that I find interesting. Because the country seems to be going in quite a unified way. It's incredible how well it's doing now in terms of the fourth fastest growing economy in Vietnam, in Southeast Asia. And they were talking about some of the wealthy peoples, the billionaires over there who's got the electric bikes and things. And you think, well, how does that fit in with the communist ideals? And, you know, yeah, I'd like to know. You could only get to know how people really feel and things. When you've been there, it's like when I was in Thailand, and you know, unless you've spoken to red shirts and yellow shirts over a couple of beers and that, you're never going to know what people feel about things, just based on a holiday. And that's one of the attractions there. I mean, the way I look at it, infrastructure is great. You're not going to have brownouts and that. That's not really thing. It's a great culture to learn about. The food is fantastic. She's back in again.
Stop. No, that's enough.
Every time you say something to distract me now, you're going on camera. Oh, they're saying they'd like to see more of your back.
By the way, there's a filtered message. I don't know if YouTube is not allowing this.
Yeah, I'm doing a live, sweetheart.
No, it's here.
Ellen's my moderator tonight, and she's trying to tell me something.
But I think it's YouTube that's doing that. This one.
The
show hide thingy from this guy.
I can't read it. Read it out.
Are you sure it's safe?
I don't know, I can't read it. We'll take a gamble.
You're
Ellen, just read it out.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. It says from Mac Madeira, lol, I've been every almost country in Southeast Asia. Vietnamese are the most aggressive hagglers I've met, worse than Bali.
Okay, and what's his name?
Mac Madeira.
Well, Mac Madeira says that he has been all over Southeast Asia, and Vietnam, they are by far the most aggressive hagglers. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I did notice they were, well, they weren't aggressive to start with. I didn't do a lot of haggling. I mean, haggling has always been my thing. Well, I do it for Ellen. I don't, but I learned how to do that when I was living in Saudi Arabia. And I spent a lot of time in Egypt. And they love you to haggle over there. I used to love it over there. You know, you come in, they'd quote a price and you go, oh, Alibaba. And they'd be like, no, Alibaba. And you just go, you know, it was all part of it. It was part of the, you know, part of the thing. So when we were in Thailand, Ellen, I used to haggle for Ellen. I never bothered over here in Vietnam. I mean, she's quite good at it now. She knows what to do. But yeah, as I say, so I don't know how they are on that. But I mean, it's made me how people say that they're no good at haggling. I was trying to explain to one of the guys on the tour. I said, it's not difficult. You just say to them how much, and they will give you a price, and you'll say, no, that's no good. What's your best price? And they'll give you a best price. You say it's no good. I said, and eventually you will get to what their best price is. And when you get to the best price, just walk away, and they'll do one or two things. They'll either lower it and call you back, or they'll let you walk away. And if they let you walk away, you know that's their best price. And if you're happy to pay it, you know, just go back and pay it. If you're not, then you can't do a deal. You know, it's not really rocket science, is it? I mean, that's it. I mean, yeah. Anyway, but I agree with you. They probably are. I mean, as I say, I've never. Where have I haggled? So I've never really haggled in Cambodia. Wasn't really a haggling. I never really bought much in Siem Reap. I've haggled in Thailand a little bit, not too much. Did a lot last time I went down to Pattaya. Vietnam didn't really haggle, but I saw it. So you're probably right.
Craig Love. Craig 975.
Craig 975. Thank you. Very helpful. She's doing well and moderated. Simon, have you spent any time in Malaysia? If so, how's it compare to Philippines, Vietnam and Thailand? Malaysia is not for me. I haven't spent a lot of time there. I did a few visa runs in my Thai days to Kuala Lumpur. It is a very nice city. The people are friendly, but it's a Muslim country. And that is an issue to me. Not because of anything. I like to have a drink. You know, I've always been like, you know, I like the old beer culture. I like to live somewhere where I can, you know, go out and drink with friends and socialise, you know, whether that's in a village in Thailand, you know, sat outside like their sari sari, or whether it's an expat bar in thing, you know, that's what I like to do. And Malaysia, yeah, the food was great in Kuala Lumpur. The hotels were fantastic, but getting a drink, you know, your options were get a can, sit outside 7-Eleven, which I'm not going to do, or drink in a hotel bar and pay like, you know, £8-9 for a pint of lager. So yeah, not for me. But that was the only reason. I say if you're not someone who you know, likes to socialise with beer, then it's probably a great place. But that was enough. That was enough to put me off. You know, it's not what I want. You know, not for me. Just for that. You know, and I'm not ashamed of saying that. Because oh, you're an alcoholic. No, I'm not. I grew up in a pub culture. I like to go out and have a couple of beers and talk to friends. And Bali, you know, I've never been to Indonesia. Bali's never appealed to me. Again, just because, you know, I think unless you live I don't like living in very touristy places. And unless you live in the touristy places, I have been led to believe, I might be wrong, you're going to struggle for like, you know, nightlife and bars and things in the smaller places. Because I don't drink over there. So that's what's put me off it. And also, I'll tell you one thing about Malaysia, incredible airport. They're incredibly friendly and helpful. I did a visa run there once and I got stuck there for a few hours. I was travelling back late and they put on free moves and bring you around refreshments and that. I was watching all these backpackers who are like, you know, you always get some people sitting in the airport waiting for flights. They come around, they bring you pillows there and they bring people drinks and I've never seen anything like it in an airport. So really nice airport to do if you to get stuck in. But there we go. Adam Fente, great question. What was? You won't get your satisfaction until you visit the north as well. For now, you've only been served half the meal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I like to do both. I would love to know how the country has changed in terms of the philosophy has changed and how people really feel about it, you know, the divide between the north and the south, and just see the different cultures. Because obviously Old Ho wasn't happy about the country being split in two, but one can only assume that a lot of those in the south were happy about it. Obviously a lot weren't. I mean, it was a very difficult situation, as the guide was saying. You know, you would have families where one brother's from the south is fighting for the north and another one's fighting for the south. So, I mean, yeah, fascinating period. Just terrible thing that had to happen because it was a pointless war. But there you go. Well, it wasn't pointless for the Vietnamese. I mean, obviously they were defending their country. But it was anyway. We're on a live stream. We're not talking about that. Hazen McVicker, yes, you're right. They do get or pretend to get annoyed when haggling. I suppose that intimidates you into buying. Yeah. Mac Madeira, Kuala Lumpur is very nice, but it has no vibe outside of the Bukit Bintang. It's like a Western city on Christmas Day. The buildings are large but empty. Yeah, I get the same thing. It didn't, but I say, yeah, I can't. I mean, you obviously know it a lot more than I do, mate. I think I was there twice. It was either twice or 3 times. And I've literally, got off a flight from Thailand, gone to the hotel, had something to eat, wandered around. I think the longest I stayed there was 2 days. One of the times I just went to the airport and went back again. Because the times I'd stayed there a couple of days, I just thought, this is not for me. This is not for me. Yeah. Certain places like Singapore and that just don't appeal. I sound a bit strange, but I like the place to be a bit dirty, you know what I mean? A bit down and dirty. I don't want the polished, skyscrapers and all the, you know, that you know, like that doesn't do it for me. That doesn't feel like, you know, it's not. It's like a Western experience in an Asian country. And in fact, it could be worse. Could be like Korea, which is split. I think Korea will be unified in my lifetime. I hope not, because I think the most, I think the most likely outcome is the South will become North, and I wouldn't wish that on them. But if it was the other way round, then yeah, fantastic. But well, Adam, I don't know. You have a far more optimistic view of how the world is going than I do at the moment, mate. But hopefully you're right and I'm wrong. How are we doing on the dinner front, my love? Is it done? Well, I tell you what, chaps. I'll finish because we'll talk another 5-10 minutes, and we're going to knock it on the head because Ellen has made red curry, and I'm quite hungry, but I haven't finished coffee yet. What have you guys got to look forward to? What have you got planned for this week? Have you lived in any other countries? I can't say the name. Mac Madeira. Hazel McVigar. How much time have you spent in Vietnam? Craig, are you thinking about Malaysia? Adam Fente, what kind of place have you got now then? Tell us a little bit about your place in Da Nang. Is it like an apartment, a one-bedroom apartment, a studio, a house? How far are you from the beach? Is it an Airbnb job? Adam, tell us more. Tell us your deep and darker secrets. Plastered Finger, have you looked into long-term visa situation? Where? In Vietnam? Oh, it's a nightmare, mate. It's a nightmare. There is no long-term visa over there. Unless you get married, it's a tourist visa job. But it's pretty much like Thailand was. That's one of the reasons why I like the idea of living in different countries. Because when I first moved to Thailand, visas were not an issue. I couldn't get a retirement visa because I was under 50. But you could literally just cross the border. There were trips you could get from Pattaya. They'd just take you up in a coach. You go to the Cambodian border. You would walk across, get your visa stamped, walk across, and go back to Vietnam. To Thailand, and you were good for a couple of months. You'd have to get an extension at a local thingy office. And everyone did it. And there were loads of people living there on that basis. But then they stopped it overnight. Ellen was just rubbing her ear. I thought she was trying to signal me not to say something. I mean, what the hell was I? She's going, no, don't say that. But they stopped that. But that's the situation in Vietnam. You can go there, you get a visa on entry, you can extend for 90 days, and then you can literally just cross the border and walk back in again. It starts over again. And it's been like that for a while now because they don't have a retirement option. So yeah, you'd be doing that. 4 times a year you would have to leave the country. But I used to love that about Thailand. That's how I fell in love with Siem Reap. You know, that's not a problem to me. You know, going down, you know, having a few months in Thailand, going down, spending a month in Cambodia, coming back again. So that's why I'm kind of got that planning, because I'd want to go there with that mindset. What I wouldn't want to go there with is the mindset that, you know, we're staying there forever, because the marriage ought to be a problem there, because I think the marriage only works if you marry a Vietnamese. And Ellen is not Vietnamese, she's Thai. She's Thai. She's Filipino. So you can't really make long-term plans in Vietnam, which is why I like the idea of, say, you know, maybe stay there for a year sometimes if you can extend. But that's why I kind of, in my thought process now, is I'm thinking, right, let's have the Philippines as a base and let's find somewhere else where we spend a large percentage of the year. And if we do end up moving to Vietnam and we stay for a year, then let's look at some wonderful places to go for our visa runs. You know, I like Bangkok. A couple of days in Bangkok would do me just fine. You know, a week in Chiang Mai, fantastic. You know, it's no different what we're doing now. If it's the same system here. I mean, we went to Vietnam Thailand 5 months ago. Now we've gone to Vietnam. You know, it'd be exactly the same thing there. But anyway, yeah, that is the visa situation over there, as I understand it. Craig, I will give Malaysia a miss, as I like a beer as well. Didn't realise that was the case with the drinking. Yeah, you can get, I mean, you can, yeah, it is basically. I mean, some say, oh, it's not that expensive. You can go to 7-Eleven and you can get a Heineken for, you know, like $3 or whatever. I don't want to drink outside 7-Eleven having an Heineken. That's no good to me. You know, always made me, always surprises me here. I'm not knocking anyone, each to their own. But there's a 7-Eleven just there, and it's right by the road. There's a few of them in Dumaguete, and you will invariably go there, and there'll be an expat sat outside there, drinking a beer. And I'll nod, I'll say hello. And you think, why would you do that? Well, why? I mean, I'm not one for drinking by myself anyway, but I mean, go to a bar or whatever. Why outside a 7-Eleven when you've got a shitty road, like, you know, heavy with traffic and pollution coming up, you know? But I saw people doing that in Malaysia. I'd rather not drink. You know what I mean? If I'm going to drink, I want to do it, you know, in a bar with people talking. It's like the house. I never drink in the house. I mean, when was the last time I had taken a drink in this house? Months, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not that kind of, I'm a social drinker. When I go out, I like to have a beer. If I don't go out, I don't drink. Certainly I'm not going to live in, you know, go down to 7-Eleven and buy a beer from there and sit outside in the garden. But if that's what you want to do in the car park, if that's what you want to do, power to you. What makes me laugh about these people who say I'm an alcoholic on the channel. I'm thinking, yeah, of course I am, mate, yeah. I maybe go out twice a week and have a beer. That's an alcoholic. Adam Fenton, I'm on the apartment hunt now, so that's keeping me busy. On Airbnb until February 1st. I'm in a studio, which is a 5-minute walk from the beach. About $350 for 1 month with everything included. Never been a fan of studios. I could do it for a month, but it always amazes me how many people, you know, will pick a studio. When I was living in Pattaya, Jomtien, I had a few friends in studios, and a few of them preferred studios. And I'm like, no, sod that. I don't like the idea of cooking and the smelling going in your clothes. And also with your partners with you. You know, how do you watch TV or put the radio on when they're sleeping? To me, it's got to be a 1-bedroom minimum apartment. But like you, if you're by yourself, Adam, and it's a studio and you're there for a month, I get it entirely. But I know people over there who bought studio apartments and were living there permanently with their wives, girlfriends. And you go around there and you think, why do you get a studio then? Oh, because it's like, you know, it's 40 metres. You know, I don't like the small rooms in the apartment, you know, because they reckon that if you've got like, you know, a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, the rooms were too small. Can't get it. I couldn't live in a studio. No, would hate it. How do you have friends around when your bedroom and that's there in the background? I don't know. Anyway, but for a month, no problem at all. I'm not knocking your choice, Adam. I'm just saying if it was me, I would have to have a minimum of a 1-bedroom. Preferably 2 so people can visit. Hazel McVicker, my ex-wife is Vietnamese and 2 kids half Vietnamese. Been there a few times since 2004. Know the culture quite well. Lots of Vietnamese friends. Yeah. Adam Fente, looking for an apartment in the 200-250 range. Well, good luck with that. I don't know if that's realistic or not. You're a sensible guy. You probably are. I might well. That's not including, that would be like, you know, kind of price you pay here, mate. If you can get a place like that, you know, that kind of a place for that price in Da Nang, it sounds bloody cheap. Well done. So that's why I would like to go to Ho Chi Minh, not Ho Chi Minh. I'd like to go to Hanoi for a holiday, but I'd like to go to Da Nang just to start pricing things up and seeing what the options are. But we've mellowed on it a bit now. Oh my God, a couple of days ago I was looking at private schools, what the fees in that were to take Kayla over. But Ellen doesn't think that's a good idea. I think it is. Get her in an international school. John Jongo 724. Happy New Year, Simon. Happy New Year to you, mate. All the best for 2006. Welcome to the live chat. Mac Madeira. Penang is actually worth visiting in Malaysia if you're already in the country. Like Thailand without the crowds on the western side of the island. Yeah, I nearly went there. I still kick myself that I didn't go there. I was in the process of breaking up with my girlfriend in Thailand, and a mate of mine contacted me from the Air Force, and he was based in Penang. I didn't even know there was an Air Force base in Penang at the time, but he messaged me one day and said, you know, I'm in Penang, like, and why don't I come and see you? You come and see me. And I said, well, don't come and see me, mate, because we're in the middle of a breakup. I might well come and see you, but then things expedited quite quickly and I ended up going back to the UK. And it just never happened, and I should have gone. But I always liked the idea of going to Penang because, and he said it was great there, because I like Penang curry. I love a Penang curry. And I always like the idea of having a Penang curry in Malaysia. That could well be, if we move to Vietnam, that could well be, you know, a visa run stop. Yeah, that's why I like the idea. I don't mind the idea of the visa runs. You know, a quick trip over to Penang. Never been. Hazen McVicker stayed at Golden Rose Hotel in Da Nang last October. $12 US. Bloody hell, that's cheap. 5 blocks from the beach. Nice room, very clean. Adam Fente, I had a 1-bedroom in Seattle. Totally agree. Can't stay long term in a studio. That's crazy, isn't it? I don't. You know, yeah. It's just, you know, yeah. We're in the same camp on that one, Adam. Hayden McVicker, bakery across the street, 56 cents for a banh mi sandwich every morning. Loved it. I did like the banh mi. First few days I had them every day, and they were perfect when you'd been out a late night. You'd pick one up, you know, on the way back. There were a couple of times when I woke up hungry and Ellen's like, you know, well, why don't you have the banh mi? I said, well, I haven't got a banh mi. She was under your head. You know, I'd forgotten to buy it. But they are very nice, the banh mi. But after the first 3 or 4 days, first 5, we didn't have any banh mi for the last few days, did we? We didn't. We moved on to other things. We found lots of stuff we liked. Loved the hot pots over there. Trying to think of how many other dishes we liked. I had a beef.
The sizzling plate.
Oh, the sizzling plates were nice. Found one place we went to a couple of times, XCO, and I had fried pork belly in fermented shrimp paste, and it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. I like that pork an egg in caramelised sauce as well. That was nice. I thought it'd be darker than that though. John Jonko, thanks. You too. All the best for 2026. Adam Fente, you're selling me on Penang. Ha ha ha. I'm still interested in testing out Kuala Lumpur since I am shameless city boy. I think you'd probably like Kuala Lumpur, mate. I think you'd probably like Kuala Lumpur. Hey, Larry's in the house. Simon, good morning from Trinidad and Tobago. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Larry. How did your cooking go? Your Thanksgiving dinner? I think you were cooking a Thanksgiving dinner last time we spoke, weren't you? What time is it there in Trinidad? I say, well, what time is it there? Yeah, which one are you in? Are you in Trinidad or Tobago? Mac Madeira, Penang is cheap too. It has a few bars there in the old town. It's slightly more liberal too. If you like Chiang Mai, you'll probably like it. Yeah, it's you've got that. What's it called? Is it Georgetown in Penang? You've got like the painted walls and that. I've seen it. I know friends who've gone there. Have I got that right? Larry Fonte, it went well. Good. I'm sure you are a wonderful cook, Larry. I would like to try your red snapper one day. Who knows? We might come over and see you. And I'm not really a fish guy, but I bet you make a nice red snapper. And the Plaster Finger posted something about visa requirements. Plastered Finger visa. What, you posted it in the group? Or is that what you're guessing at, Billy? I'll have a look at that. I mean, when you say you posted it, I'm assuming you put it in our Facebook group, in which case I will have a look later. I have no interest in teaching English there. I wouldn't want to teach English. But I do remember reading a while back that it was one of the countries where if you had a experience of teaching, if you'd like to taught for a few years or whatever, you could get a visa based on that. It wasn't one where you had to have like China, you know, where you have to have a degree or, you know, be a teacher, you know, and that it was quite flexible. Because I used to watch the vlogs, and a lot of English people, can I speak? A lot of people who've been teaching English then have been a few. I think, how the hell are you staying there? How are you getting around the visa runs and that? But I think compared to some countries, it's quite relaxed. Certainly easier to teach English, for example, in Vietnam than it is in Thailand in terms of legally. But I wouldn't want to. I mean, I wouldn't want to do. Fair play if you're doing it, but it's just not for me. I don't want to work like that. It's too much like hard work. Larry Fournier, it's 8:30 a.m. here in Trinidad, and I was in Tobago for the Christmas. So you're popping around from island to island. I'd like to try it over there, but I think it's quite expensive, isn't it? It's a more expensive lifestyle than it is over here. But yeah, we'll have to do that, Ellen. We will have to look into the visa requirements to go to Trinidad and Tobago or Jamaica, somewhere in the West Indies. Would you like that? She's shaking her head no. You like that reggae bar we were going to? There was a reggae bar we found in Siem Reap, and we spent most of our nights there. I won't say why we spent most of our nights there, but we had some good times there. Adam Fente, your visa resets for the Phils, right? First stamp 30 days. Yeah, 100% started all over again. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. I mean, I've been just by going on holiday, I'm starting all over again. I avoid the exit clearance, which isn't that much of a palaver. I don't know why I made a big thing out of that. When we went over, one of our friends that came with us, Daryl, he had to get his exit clearance visa, and they sent him to the cashier. Took him less than 2 minutes. He literally went over, paid his money straight at the counter. I don't know why I bothered with that palaver. I mean, it's just a joke, because I went through the visa agency here, and in my mind I was happy I had it, because I thought there would be terrible queues and things. But it took 3 weeks to get, and they had to send us a boo and all that. You do it at the airport, you literally go in, you show them your passport, they stamp you your thing, take your money, you're good to go. I don't think they bloody check it on anything. It is just a money-making thing. Plaster Finger, yeah, just been here a year now, but I'm looking at long-term visits locally, Nepal, Cambodia and Vietnam. Right. Well, that's a good thing, you've got stuff to do there. It is, I don't blame you, Billy. Do some travelling. Vietnam, mate. You might like, well, it depends what you like. Nepal, really? Nepal has never appealed to me. But then Thailand never appealed to me. Maybe I'd go to Nepal and I'd love it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye to you folks now. Thank you for joining us. I can't keep my beautiful Ellen away from her food. She's waiting. She's like that, you see. She's a typical Filipina, a Southeast Asian woman. She will not eat without her man. She has to cut my food up for me and, you know, pop it in my mouth and stroke my head while I'm digesting. Absolute bullshit. She does none of that. I cook for her most of the time. Probably the laziest woman I've ever met. Larry Fournier. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive than the Philippines. However, we have a fairly large Filipino community here, since most of them work in the healthcare system here. Is that right? That's interesting. That's interesting. I think we have a lot of, because the reason I say that's interesting is we have a lot of, apparently now, a lot of Filipino nurses and I presume doctors in the healthcare system in the UK. But they never, I think that's a Brexit thing, they were never allowed before. What you always had in the UK, you had a lot of West Indian nurses and a lot of, yeah, they came from the West Indies to work in healthcare there. So I'm wondering if they were going to the UK and the Filipinos were going over there to replace them. I don't know, but apparently, as I say, few people have said they go back now, it's full of Filipinos. You know, lots of nurses and that, and they're great, but that was always traditionally, whenever you went to the hospital in the UK, it was always a lot of West Indian staff there. So that's funny that it works the other way. Yeah, take care, Larry. Catch you on the next one, I hope, mate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Craig, thanks, Simon. Great chat. And Infante, enjoyed the live. Take care, guys. Good night. Yeah, good night, Adam. Be lucky. Enjoy the nang, mate. Hazel McVicker, have a good one, sir. Yeah, thank you. All of you, I'm not going to say any names because I'll forget people, but everyone who joined us, thank you so much. It was lovely coming back, doing a live and talking to you. Just a shame we had no trolls. We were ready to delete them and never had the opportunity, but there you go. Wishing everyone, if you weren't on a live and you're watching this later, wishing you the very best for 2006. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you didn't, don't. But whether you do, whether you don't, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe and be lucky.